Hi, welcome to Tarp Breakfast Club. Today we're going to be talking about Arla foods and the farming industry. Hi, this is Everyday Prepper. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here in my favourite spot in the woodland. I was going to try a slightly different spot because when I came in, they're doing some sort of works and one of the footpaths was blocked off, so I had to kind of get in through a bit of a back way that I know. But I've come back to my favourite spot. There's a really nice clearing. What I'm going to do is I've moved slightly out of the way. I'll keep my voice down. We're going to have some breakfast. And I've got a lot to talk about today. So first thing to do is set a ridgeline up, get my tarp over it, get comfortable on the ground and get the breakfast on while chatting some rubbish as usual. Bit of a different setup this morning. Bit of a weird setup actually. So this is my den. Put some leaves over my camo netting. I brought my camo netting this time, managed to stuff it into my bag. So I've got the top over a ridgeline, stuffed it down on a tree over there, open at the back, wind is coming from that direction, so hopefully that will that'll stop it. Yeah, wind is coming sort of from over there, and this is my little entrance here, so I think we're all good. I've got the robin has come to see me, but I have no mealworms for it this time. I've looked, but they're probably all buried under the ground. Anyway, it's time for some breakfast and a chat. So here we are. Today I've got some of these little Kenko coffee latte things, I think. Just thought it was easier. Chuck in the bag, chuck in a cup, job done. Got some sweeteners just in case. Got my breakfast. We've got some eggs, beans and some cheese to go in the beans. Got my frying pan. I think I've got some oil with me as well, like a spray shot somewhere. Not sure where. So let's get some water on. I've also got my new camo trousers, which look like they're blending in fairly well. They're not quite woodland camo, but they're not multi-terrain pattern either. They're not proper military ones or surplus ones. But never mind. I'll probably get some stick either way. Apparently, according to a few comments, I'm not military trained, clearly, and I don't profess to be. But apparently, because I'm not military trained, I'm not allowed to wear military clothing or use military gear. It's just not allowed. Don't know where they get that from, but anyway. Quite funny really. I like camo clothing. You know, I'm in somebody's private woods. I'm off the public footpath, so I probably shouldn't be here. You know, so it's trespass really. And if somebody wants to kick me off, then that's absolutely fine. I would leave, but I'd rather not be seen. And camo gear is great for that. So that's the idea. I tried to level this up, but I haven't done a very good job. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was this stuff with Arla foods and the Bovaer chemical that they're putting into, or the additive they're putting into cow's feed in the UK, and also they're doing it already in Brazil and some parts of the US, Canada, I think. And so I wanted to talk about that. I had a couple of requests. Certainly, one of our members, Kirsty. Hi, Kirsty. I know you asked me to cover this, so. I thought I would do, but sorry for the delay, I needed to do some research on it because I didn't really know anything about it. So I've done quite a bit. I've done as much research as I can stomach, really. You know, there's a lot to it. There really is a lot to it. But I'll cover as much as I can on the video today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my wireless mic on so you can hear me better, and then we'll get this boiling. Right, hopefully you can hear me okay. Battery's getting a little bit low on the camera, but I have a spare, so we should be okay. Can't see anyone around, so let's crack on. So Arla Foods. So what's basically happened, if you don't know already, is Arla Foods are a major cooperative distributor of milk, where they co-op loads of farmers together who give all their milk to Arla, and then Arla distribute them to the supermarkets and try and get a fair price and that kind of thing, I'm assuming, because it's a cooperative. So they're not a limited company, they're not on the stock market. They're a supposedly family-run business. So what they've done is they've decided that to meet net zero targets, they are going to try and reduce methane in cows' farts by up to something like 27% using an additive called Bovaer. And if you look at that, you look it up online on social media, everyone's going, "Oh, it's Bill Gates' poison. They're trying to get into the food chain and everything else." So I just thought I'd do some more research on it. Arla have made a statement saying that, this is great for the environment, it's going to reduce methane output, this is all towards sustainable farming and all part of the green agenda and everything else. Whether you believe in the green agenda or not, it's kind of neither here nor there really. That's not a debate I want to get into right now. I don't have an opinion on man-made climate change currently. I haven't bothered researching it. I don't like what they're doing, certain things they're pushing without proper consultation with the public. But that goes for anything that they do without consultation with the public. So it's not just that subject. So I'm not going to get into a debate on climate change. But the social media is talking about Bill Gates now. So Arla are all very, and the National Union of National Farmers Union, the NFU, are all for this as well. So it looks like what that's going to do is it's going to impact farmers who have a contract with Arla, a lot of them do, where they get their milk at a certain price or a fixed price, whatever's agreed. They've got contracts to supply milk to Arla. Now, I think it's 30 farmers across the UK have been signed up to this scheme where they will give this Bovaer substance in feed to their cattle. In the hope that it'll reduce this methane. Now, I looked at some of the tests they've done on this stuff, and it doesn't look good. But Arla and the NFU and everyone else have assured us it's completely safe, and I'm going to cover that in a bit more detail now. So the company behind Bovaer is, let me just get some notes here. I'm going to put some stuff on the screen. So there's a company called DSM Firmenich, and they are a Swedish-Dutch company, apparently family-run, and they have developed this Bovaer, and they've got this press statement that says some misinformation about Bovaer. And this covers quite a lot actually, and when you do research off of the back of this, it's quite interesting. So I'm going to read some of this out. It says, misinformation about Bovaer in the UK. Dear farmers, retailers and members of the public, the recent announcement of Bovaer trials in the UK has caused mistruths and misinformation. They love that word, don't they? Anything that's against the narrative, anything that we don't like what you're doing, they just say, "Oh, it's misinformation, you're wrong." That just really gets my goat every time. Misinformation about its safety. We would like to bring you the facts and dispel any misconceptions. The facts, all right? Bovaer is safe for use and effective in reducing emissions. Now, as soon as I saw safe and effective, I wanted to be sick, because we've all heard that before, haven't we? Now, those of you that have been jabbed for COVID and are happy about it will not have a problem with that. Anyone else who hasn't been jabbed or has but then regrets it, which is a lot of people, as soon as you see safe and effective, alarm bells should start ringing. Here are the scientifically proven facts. Scientifically proven, they say, right? Even when they mention Bill Gates, scientifically proven, apparently. So they go on to say it reduces methane, scientifically proven to do that. Bovaer development began 15 years ago. My water's boiling. Let's get me coffee on. What was the other one? This is interesting. Provided it is used as recommended, Bovaer is fully metabolized by the cow and is not present in milk or meat, so there is no consumer exposure. It never enters into milk and therefore does not reach consumers. So I thought that was interesting, because if that's scientifically proven, then we've got nothing to worry about, have we? Really? So hold that thought. Regulatory and scientific trials show Bovaer poses no risk to health for consumers nor animals, and it has no impact on milk production or reproduction. I'll come back to that in a second. The UK Food Standard Agency, as well as EFSA, have approved its use based on evidence that it does not harm the animals or negatively impact their health, productivity, or the quality of milk. Now, I read the Food Standards Agency, and I put a link in my last video where I was talking about those drones over the Lake and Heath, and I covered a little bit of this. And I put a link to that report, and that report actually said that the NOP3, which is the coating, I think, around this Bovaer, or it's one of the ingredients, is cause terrible skin sensitivity, irritation to eyes, skin, and breathing, I think, as well. All sorts of issues, right? But they said, but the impact, the benefit is greater than the problems it causes. And we've all heard those words as well. Regulatory and scientific trials show that Bovaer poses no risk to health for consumers nor animals, and it has no impact on milk production. Well, it does have a risk to consumers. It has a risk to humans. So it's got to be treated very, very carefully when people are administering it to the cows. Whether it does damage to the cows or not sure. But what they did find, this is the UK Food Standard Agency, was that out of every 49 rats that they tested it on, 4 of them got cancer. But the cancer was within acceptable limits to allow it to go mainstream, apparently, according to the Food Standards Agency. Well, they obviously know better. But, 4 in 49, well, that's about 9%, isn't it? So anything close to 10%, that's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. And how close are rats? They test a lot of stuff on rats, don't they? And that they then roll out to humans. So could that mean that would translate to humans as well? Don't know. So that's kind of left a little bit open, really. So those are the scientifically proven facts, which they've dressed up a little bit. Another interesting scientifically proven fact, it says, contrary to what is stated in recent messages, Bovaer is fully developed and owned by DSM-Firmenich and has no other investors. Bill Gates is not involved in the development of Bovaer. Well, when you look on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they fund millions to DSM-Firmenich, but not necessarily for this particular product. They fund them for hygiene and sanitation processes in Africa, and also for, I think, genetically modified mosquitoes to battle malaria. But I can't see any evidence of direct funding to this. But who knows where the funding goes? They get a lot of money from Bill Gates. So to say Bill Gates is not involved in the development of Bovaer, almost as if Bill Gates has nothing to do with us at all, it's a little bit vague, to say the least. Right. So anyway, regardless of all that, whether they're lying or not, what we need to check is if we're going to boycott them, or if we don't want that stuff in our food, if we don't want to consume it, what can we do? So apparently the supermarkets that are on board with this are Tesco, Aldi and Morrison's. However, they do provide products, other dairy products like Anchor. So Anchor is sold in all of the supermarkets, including Sainsbury's, Waitrose, wherever. Although I saw a message on Twitter saying Waitrose does not stock Arla products, which is, I think I'm not sure if they do their own brands only in Waitrose, don't know. But that could be a lie. But anyway, so mainly it's milk, but it's going to be also milk products. So I did check organic. Now, whether you believe this or not, up to you really. But I checked on the government website for how to register for organic, and organic is very, very stringent on what they give to cows. You have to even wait 2 years so that your soil has been completely flushed through of any kind of contaminants and all that sort of stuff before you can even apply to be an organic farmer from a mainstream farmer. So the only way that I can see at the moment to consume milk that is safe from this bovine, because it's a tricky one. We don't. Sainsbury's might have their own label milk might be via Arla. If you want to go down a rabbit hole and think, there's a sinister agenda to try and get this in the food chain, if you're of that kind of opinion, then you want to be avoiding all supermarkets' own milk and maybe go for organic. I know that some people who are down that rabbit hole also say that organic milk is a fraud, and that'll have that stuff in too, in which case we're buggered either way, and you might as well just go with the cheapest milk you can get and not worry about it and just hope for the best. But if you want to actively avoid it, I would say go for organic. That's what my research tells me. If you want to do things like protests against it, what is interesting is that Arla immediately, literally within 2 days, I think, of announcing that they were going to do this, they said they put out an injunction against anyone protesting outside of their buildings. So they knew that they're up to something. They know they're up to something that's not on. They know it's not going to go down well with the public. And if that's the case, then why wasn't there a debate in Parliament about it or anything like that? It's all, and it comes after a recent visit from Bill Gates to Downing Street as well. All a bit sinister, really. There's a lot of farmers really up in arms about it. Now, there are some farmers that are saying what they're going to do is they're trying to get together I've got a numb leg again. They're trying to get together a hub for farmers where they can I just cannot feel my foot where farmers can join up with consumers. And it's early days yet. In this website, it looks okay. It doesn't charge the farmers and it doesn't charge any sort of commission, but it does put a clause in there saying they might charge later. So that could just be a money-making exercise off the back of it, but it also could benefit everybody. I've been down to local farmers markets last couple of Saturdays, and it's been really good. I've been buying meat mainly, really, because they don't do milk down there. I've been listening to one particular farmer who's great. I don't think he's in the milk industry or the cattle industry, but he's trying to set up this site. Ulterior motive, possibly a monetary motive there. Because that's all he keeps harping on about. He also keeps harping on about the fact that climate change is not real. But then in the same breath says that he's not widely educated and doesn't read or write very well. So you kind of take the now. I'm not being discriminatory against people who don't read or write. I'm just saying that how do you get your information then? If you only get your information off of YouTube or videos or what people have told you, then it's going to be limited and it's not going to be very well researched. How can you read the abstract on a scientific paper if you're limited in that regard? So not dissing anyone. I'm just saying, just be really careful where you get your information from. Don't take it from me. Don't take it from them. Just do your own research and make a decision based on what you think is right for you. So for me, going forward, I'm currently buying Sainsbury's milk because I'm just trusting that Sainsbury's milk is going to be okay. If this ends up rolling out further, or if I find out otherwise, I will be buying organic milk only and hope that the state of this, and hope that that's all right. On a lighter note, I'll have some breakfast. I just tried making myself a bushcraft seat technique I've seen online, and it just snapped completely. All the wood on the floor. I don't want to saw anything. I've got my saw with me. But I don't want to saw any live wood, obviously. So I've just been picking up debris from the ground, and it's all rotten, completely rotten. So maybe that's a summer job. I mean, I could try with some branches that are broken off. I don't know where the land lies with that. It's broken off, not quite rotten because it hasn't been on the ground. So I suppose it's dead wood, is it? It's not really going to live again, is it? It's broken off, but well, it's kind of still attached. So I suppose it could still have growth on it. I don't want to be cutting that. Suddenly getting a really weird chemically smell. Can't hear anyone about. It smells synthetic. Maybe someone's burning some tyres or something. It doesn't smell right. Very strange. I was looking into the history of this place. I'm not sure if this woodland counts as it, but this adjoins two other major bits of woodland that surround a very old Gothic castle. It's a Gothic mansion, and it's owned by a couple who are Russian, and apparently it was going up for sale over the last couple of years because they owe money to the Russian government, and they were worried that the money, the proceeds from the sale, which was about 6 million, was going to go to the Russian government and help fund the war in Ukraine and all this sort of thing, and they were all worried about that. I don't know whether that was a plea to try and hold on to the property. But it sounds like they still own the property. But apparently, over thousands of well, at least in the last 1,000 years, if not for thousands of years, there was a village, a whole village, self-sustaining village, community living around these parts. Old burial grounds and everything else. That's why it's apparently one of the most haunted places in Kent, which is really amazing history. So I'm going to try and explore the other woods as well, because there's an old chapel in there, I've heard, and some really creepy areas. So I've got to get in there and have a little look during the daytime. Obviously, won't be camping in there. Apparently, they were saying that some people camping can't even light fires because they've kept blowing their fires out. It's like, well, is that lack of experience, or is it ghosts? What's the most likely? Lack of experience, wet wood, not having the right gear or the right knowledge. But you never know. You never know. So I'm going to get some breakfast on. In the meantime, what's your thoughts on what I said about Arla and DSM? I'll put all the links in the description, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd be interested to see what you think. I suppose, yeah, part of me has kind of resided to, well, if they're going to do it and we can't avoid it, what else are you going to do? Because these farmers markets, they don't, I mean, unless I sign up to get milk delivered, I was working it out, it's going to cost me like 30 or 40 quid a month to get the kind of milk delivered at their prices. And that's money I just haven't got. I haven't got it. So I've been trying out stuff like nut milk, you know, like almond milk and stuff like that. But it's not very nice. I was just trying it out just because it's got, you know, really good in protein, and I know they're trying to phase out dairy farming, aren't they? Really, you know, you have your choice. You either eat Bill Gates' lab-grown meat, or you have the stuff that's pumped full of chemicals that reduces methane. That seems to be the way it's going. So anyway, I've given up on chair building and any kind of serious bushcraft for the moment, and I think I'm going to have some breakfast. Big old helicopter doing the rounds. I'm not too far from the cliffs, so I reckon that's Coast Guard, search and rescue, possibly. Let's get my beans on. I nearly didn't bother having breakfast, so I was just going to do a no breakfast club. That would be all kinds of wrong, wouldn't it? Let's get on with it. Got my beans, got my cheese. Let's put the cheese in the beans. Talking of helicopters, I've got my drone, and there's barely any wind, so I'm probably going to get the drone up over the woodland. I might even try and get the drone over, well, that's about a mile away, over the estate that the other woodland belongs to. This amazing castle just looks lovely. The grounds look amazing, really incredible. If I can get some shots of that, that'll be good. In the meantime, I've managed to figure out exactly where I am on the map, and I'm in the middle of two pathways. I'm about 50 metres in from both pathways, so hopefully I won't be rumbled. Now, I bought some one of these one-shot sprays for cooking my eggs with. I put it in a bag. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I had two bags packed because I was going to stay over tonight. I've got one bag with my tent in, which I was going to leave in the car, and then go and get when dusk falls. I was going to go and get that bag, but I think I might have put the oil in there stupidly with all my other tins of food that I was going to have for this evening. I don't tend to eat that much when I'm camping, really. Too nervy. Just kind of get on with it. Not on a campsite. A campsite's different, but when you're wild camping. But the reason I didn't want to do that was because I've got work to do. I've got stuff to do at home. I've taken far too much time off since I lost my doggy, really. So I need to kind of get back to work and stuff. But there we go. Cheese is starting to melt. That's all nice. Now I'm cooking on gas. Another thing I forgot. I bought a stove, a new stove, a fire stove. I'll get it out to play another time. It's all in there. And this folds out into a box, firebox. You chuck a load of kindling in, or I suppose dead wood. And it's got a grill on the top, perfect for your pans and bits and pieces, maybe even a steak. But I thought, well, I don't really want to have the smell of a fire in these woods, because I was worried about being found out, being spotted, and especially if they're coppicing and they're around and about. I didn't want to be, someone honing in on a fire. But I thought, what would be great is if I used my Fire Dragon BCB, pop that inside where you normally put the wood, with the little flies in mid-water, with the little cubes that you burn, because they turn liquid. So I could use the actual BCB stove inside, and then if it turns liquid, it's not going to go all over the bottom of the fire stove, and then use that because it's smokeless and odourless. And I thought, I'll do that. Did I bring the BCB? No, I left it at home. I don't know what I'm thinking. So unorganised. This is why I keep telling my wife that I need another rucksack, so I can put all my stuff in there and have a different bag for different types of venture. Never mind, we'll get there in the end. A whole tin of beans here, I'm going to be stuffed. Let's get that cheese melted. Oh, it's that chemical smell again. The hell is that? It's not this, not this. I wonder if it's some sort of spores releasing. There's some weird spores on these trees. Could be that. In which case I probably shouldn't be breathing them in. Sorry, I'm off camera here, aren't I? There we go. Right, that's almost... Oh, there we go. It's melting now. Brought my spatula for once. I'll wash all this up when I get home. I cannot be asked to do it now. Oh, smells good. You know, I keep forgetting my condiments. I forgot them again today, haven't I? I was trying to find, I remember when I was in France, when I used to on holiday in France, I used to get these little pepper pots, salt and pepper pots. One side salt, one side pepper, little things. Can I find anything like that? Nope. Nowhere. Retro cook shops I've tried online. Supermarket. No idea where to get one of these things from. Almost every restaurant in France does them. It's worth a day trip just to go nab one. There's a thought. Oh yes. Now that is fantastic. Right. Pop that down over there. Lid on. I've got my eggs. Eggs and no oil, but never mind. It's non-stick, so we should be all right. There we go. Got my lid as well. Perfect. Right. A little bin. I'll have another one of those coffees in a minute. At least I brought a plate. Where's it gone? Oh, there we are. Oh, it's so muddy here. So I was trying to build a seat. Yeah, I was trying to build a seat, a special bushcraft seat. But it didn't work. I'd have ended up on my arse in the mud. So that was a fail. I suppose when you've got nothing else to talk about, you've done your breakfast, had your coffee, that's what they call forest bathing, isn't it? Bask in the sounds and the smells and weird chemicals. I don't know what that chemical smell is. Something's going on there. Maybe it's a treatment for wood or trees. Really strong. Don't know what that is. There's a lot of those black spores about, but I can't imagine they're it's not on me. I don't know what that is. Hopefully not harmful, and hopefully doesn't mean that there's someone nearby. That's the breakfast. The eggs are underneath the beans. There, just see a little bit there. Thought I heard someone creeping through the woods, but I need to enjoy my breakfast. And my camera battery's about to die, but never mind. I think a whole tin of beans is much easier to eat if you've got melted cheese, if you like cheese. Which I do. Yeah, I was a bit nervous about staying here tonight as well because my snoring's got really bad lately. Could be that I'm not doing enough cardio. I don't drink. I worry about getting found out because of my snoring. Sounds like military jets going over there. It'd be funny if it was all kicking off while I'm in the woods. No, it's not. It's just a normal airliner. A lot of mozzies about. I thought the mozzies were gone this time of year. Oh, I see someone. I've just seen someone. I think they might be on the path. Good luck with a dog. Hopefully. Anyway, we're nearly done. I'll be leaving shortly. I'll just finish this and then we'll pack up. Sounds like a bit of activity around the place. Probably just dog walkers. I'm going to have another coffee and then I'm going to pack up. Make sure I've left no trace. scatter the leaves over and everything else, try and get it all back in the same bag. Then I think I'm going to get the drone up. If I take the drone up to the maximum of 120 metres, I should probably be able to see that estate without having to travel all the way over there. So I might give that a go. And I'll add that onto the footage perhaps at the end. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Right, in the meantime, I think I'm just going to have this coffee. There's nothing else really left to talk about. I'll be interested to see what your comments are regards to the Arla situation. And that's almost boiled. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. These prosthetic loops are amazing. Look how tight that is. You just loosen them off when you're ready to pack up.